1 month passes sooner than anyone would expect, and the finals get underway. Kushina, Gai, Kakashi, Jiraiya, Itachi, Shisui, Fugaku, who's returned from his mission which was declared a failure after the 4 Uchiha weren't found in a few weeks, and many other Uchiha would be there to spectate all the matches. First up is Shino vs Kiba. Kiba, having seen how dangerous of a fighter Shino can be in the prelims, immediately eats his special pills and uses his human beast transformation with Akamaru. The two Kibas charge Shino, but he's able to react to the attacks and jump out of the way. From there, the Aburame clan prodigy releases a cloud of insects in an attempt to catch Kiba, but the Beast Boy jumps back, avoiding the attack. Kiba decides that he cannot mess around and unleashes a Fang over Fang at Shino, who can do nothing but evade the hits as he tries to come up with a counter strategy. Eventually though, Shino gets tagged and injured, dropping to the ground. Kiba stops his rotation and comes to a halt, confident that he won. That is until Shino's body bursts into insects, an insect clone. The real Shino appears behind Kiba and attempts to punch the Yunuzuka. Luckily, Kiba's excellent sense of smell instantly picks up on Shino's presence behind him and the boy ducks to avoid the hit. Both combatants jump back. From there, a pattern emerges. Anytime Kiba attacks with his Fang over Fang, Shino uses an insect clone which bursts into bugs that cover Kiba's body. Then Kiba shakes them off by using another Fang over Fang. Slowly but surely, Shino's insects whittle down Kiba's chakra reserves. The fight is over when the Yunuzuka clan genin passes out from exhaustion. This is just one of a few strategies Shino could use to win, but he'd want to save the rest of his tricks for later rounds, so he would try to win while revealing only 1 or 2 of his moves. Next up is Sakura vs Dosu. Orochimaru hasn't appeared in the Leaf in any way, shape or form here, so I see no reason for Dosu to go get himself killed by Gaara here. I haven't really gotten into how strong Sakura would be here, so I'll take the time to go over that here. Her stats would be much greater than in the original, considering that her training partners are undeniably all way faster and stronger than Weightless Lee from the canon story. In terms of raw speed and power, she'd probably be on Dosu's level by now, if not a little greater. In terms of jutsu, she was stated to have very good genjutsu talent, so Kakashi would capitalize on that and train Sakura in some basic genjutsu skills, possibly getting Kurenai to help out as well. We're never told or shown what Sakura's chakra nature is, but I feel like it might not matter much here. Increasing her stats and learning genjutsu would eat up most of Sakura's training time anyway, so she might not have enough time to learn a chakra nature on top of that. On to the actual battle though, Dosu is at a huge disadvantage here, simply because his attacks require short range while Sakura's works from mid-range. I like Dosu a lot, but sadly there isn't really much he can do here. Sakura casts the demonic illusion tree binding death genjutsu on the sound ninja, paralyzing him and knocking him out with a few punches before he can break the genjutsu. The third match is Rock Lee vs Yoroi. So the fourth match is Sasuke vs Kankuro. Kankuro forfeits like usual. The fifth match is Naruto vs Gaara. And as much as I would like to say that this is an interesting battle, it's really not. Well, let's just explain it through the story. Seeing how unstable and tormented Gaara is, Kushina reaffirms to herself that Minato and herself made the right decision by not making Naruto a Jinchuriki. In all actuality, she hopes to get to talk to Gaara after the exam and possibly improve the seal on Shukaku so that the poor boy can actually get some decent sleep and a better life all around. But moving back to the match, it starts with Gaara summoning a bunch of sand. Suddenly, Naruto appears in front of him and punches him in the cheek, shattering his sand armor completely and dealing real damage to Gaara, drawing some blood from his lip. Gaara then freaks out due to seeing his own blood, enters his defensive dome and starts transforming into Shukaku. Until Naruto forms a Rasengan in his hand, pushes it into the sand barrier, breaking it completely and smashing the ball into Gaara's gut, knocking the sand's ultimate weapon out in a single jutsu. Yeah, it's that easy. That is how OP Naruto is here. Temari, Kankuro, and everyone from the Sand Village is completely in shock. Kushina cheers her son on while Jiraiya and Kakashi simply smile. The second round starts with Shino versus Sakura, and this one is not that interesting too. Insects are immune to genjutsu as long as the genjutsu isn't a Sharingan one, so Sakura's main weapon won't be effective here. Shino is fast enough to keep up with Sakura, and his insects give him a wide array of win conditions, while Sakura's only win condition is to punch Shino into unconsciousness, which simply isn't happening. Shino would get in close to his opponent and then swarm her with bugs until she runs out of chakra or gives up. The next match is where things ramp up. Rock Lee versus Sasuke Uchiha. Sasuke opens up with a barrage of shuriken, using them not only in a straightforward manner, but also bouncing the shuriken off of each other to attack Lee from all angles. The youthful beast of Konoha is able to dodge the shuriken easily at first, but when the shuriken begin flying at him from all sides and attacking his blind spots, the boy has to put in a lot more effort. With Lee distracted, Sasuke launches a fireball jutsu in his direction, but Lee isn't dumb enough to have just forgotten about Sasuke, so he notices the fire right away and is able to jump out of the way. Sasuke rushes him under the flames cover, and as soon as Lee's out of the way of the fireball jutsu, he's forced to dodge a barrage of taijutsu attacks from Sasuke. In terms of taijutsu skill, Lee has a slight advantage, but speed and strength are firmly in Sasuke's favor. The Uchiha overwhelms the taijutsu genius quickly and sends him crashing into the ground. "What's wrong? Is that all you've got? I haven't even attacked you seriously yet." Lee stands up and prepares to fight once more, but he's interrupted by the voice of his sensei coming from the spectator stands. "Lee, take them off." "But Guy Sensei, that's..." "It's okay, I'll allow it." Lee smiles in happiness and sits down, taking off his leg weights. "Weights? Have you been weighted the entire time we trained together as well?" "Sure have. Here, catch." Lee throws one of his weights at Sasuke, who casually extends a hand to catch it. Big mistake. The weight hits Sasuke's palm and instantly sends the unprepared Uchiha crashing to the ground. "There's no way you've been wearing these every day." Sasuke stands up, lifting the weight in both of his hands. "Just how much does this thing weigh?" 10 tons each." 10 tons? You really do go overboard with your training. Lee takes a fighting stance. "I feel much lighter without these. I'll be moving a lot faster from now on. Ready for round 2? Ha, don't get cocky. I've only been warming up until now. Let's see who's truly faster." Both competitors then charge at each other and exchange blows. Now the fight looks a lot more even, with both fighters dodging, blocking, parrying, and landing about the same number of shots. After about a minute of fast-paced, close-quarters combat, which the vast majority of the audience can't even keep track of, Sasuke finally finds an opening, kicking Lee in the gut and using said gut as leverage. The Uchiha jumps off of his opponent, flips in the air, launches a fire jutsu and throws a bunch of shuriken through it. Seeing the dozen or so flaming shuriken coming his way and with his footing off balance, Lee has no choice but to open up the first inner gate, gaining enough speed to jump out of the way. Sasuke lands on the ground and immediately fires off a Phoenix Flower Jutsu at Lee, who dodges the flames with medium difficulty. Lee then starts running laps around Sasuke, hoping to find an opening. "Really, Lee? You think you can pull off the primary lotus on me?" "No, the hidden one!" As Lee says those words, he suddenly bursts into the third gate, cracking the ground of the stadium with just sheer movement speed and force. Sasuke's eyes widen. Lee never used this in their training. The youthful beast of Konoha then kicks Sasuke in the chin before the Uchiha can even react, launching him high into the sky. Lee jumps after him and follows up with a massive kick to Sasuke's back, launching him even further. He then unwraps the bandages around his arms and wraps them around Sasuke's waist, pulling him in and smashing his leg and fist into the Uchiha's gut. Sasuke goes crashing into the ground hard enough to form a crater and crack the entire floor of the stadium from its center to its walls. The crowd goes wild and even the experienced Jonin look on in awe. Lee lands on the ground, having given it everything he has. As the dust settles, Sasuke's body is revealed in the center of the crater, motionless. However, as Lee is about to be declared the victor, something catches everyone's eye. The young Uchiha's body starts morphing into crows. Itachi and Shisui's signature crow substitution. A kunai suddenly appears at Lee's throat. I admit that was scary. If it wasn't for the substitution, I would have been done for. Itachi and Shisui smile at the sight from the stands. Sasuke Uchiha is declared the victor. But the examineers run into a bit of a problem. There's an uneven number of pairs this round. Naruto has no one to fight. After a short discussion, it's decided that the final round is going to be a three-way battle between Sasuke Uchiha, Shino Aburame, and Naruto Uzumaki. The arena is fixed by a few Earth-style users and the stage is set for the finals. Naruto, Sasuke, and Shino enter the arena as the crowd cheers them all on. Mikoto and Kushina have a friendly face-off in the stands about whose son will win the tournament. Let the match begin. Just as the start of the match is declared, a massive white bird flies into the Hokage and Kazekage seats, detonating on contact and creating a big explosion. Luckily, Hiruzen is fast enough to block the attack with an earth wall. Kabuto, disguised as an Anbu, puts the audience under genjutsu and the Kazekage unleashes a smoke bomb, blocking everyone's view of the Hokage. A horde of clay birds comes flying at the sleeping audience from the sky and various leaf shinobi do their best to protect the innocent people. Massive clouds of smoke erupt on the outskirts of the village, and a massive three-headed serpent emerges, effortlessly breaking down the wall of the village and entering the civilian district. Along with the snake come hundreds of sand and sound shinobi, followed by exactly 100 puppets, all wielding poisonous weapons. Operation Konoha Crush begins.